What's good, y'all? Your boys are back. We're back here to review episode 2, Marvel's What If. Today's title was called What If Peter Quill Attacked Earth's Mightiest Greatest Heroes. So, I'm going to start off with this episode. I liked it. What about you?
I believe it's a very relatable episode to modern sons and fathers, I would think.
I
So
can agree
that's
with
one of
you.
my favorite things about Marvel is they always try to make all their movies and TV shows some type of lesson and make it relatable for sure.
For sure. So, we're going to start off with the episode. So, we start off in this episode in 1988, right in the beginning of Guardians 1, where Peter Quill was abducted by Yondu. But at this point, Yondu doesn't have a second thought about adopting Peter Quill and hands over Star-Lord to his father, Ego the Living Planet. About 5 months later, Peter Quill lands back on Earth, on the heart of Manhattan, New York, which is a funny little Easter egg right there. He landed in the building in front of where the Avengers Tower was supposed to be. So he starts attacking New York City, and he's on his way to Missouri, if I was correct. And he sees the carnival going on in Coney Island, and heads to just that direction. Then the Earth's government spots Peter Quill and wants to find out what's going on, so they're trying to attack him. And nothing seems to work, so they assemble the Earth's mightiest heroes: King T'Chaka, Black Panther, Bill Foster, aka Black Goliath. They summon Hank Pym, Ant-Man, and you had
Winter Soldier.
Bucky, Bucky, the Winter Soldier, and one last one. I forget how to say her name. We had the Supreme Intelligence
from the Kree.
From the Kree Army. Annette Bening, I believe her name was.
Yeah, the actress, her name is Annette Bening. Yes.
Yes, correct. So then you had them attacking, trying to do Peter Quill. Didn't seem to work, and then all of a sudden, here comes Thor. Chris Hemsworth reprises his role as Thor again, and subdues Peter Quill. And then we take off where we're in Project Pegasus. If you remember, Project Pegasus was in Avengers 1. That's where S.H.I.E.L.D's building was located, or it was named. Little Easter egg right there. Then we have Hank Pym's daughter. I want to say Jenna Van Dyne, but I might be wrong on those names. Am I right? Let's see.
It's Cassie. No.
Cassie.
No. That's the daughter. That's Ant-Man's daughter. My bad. Hope. Man,
my fault. Hope Van Dyne.
Okay. Yeah. Hope.
Hope ends up befriending Peter at this time. So I guess they're about the same age around this time, or maybe Hope might be a little bit older, but neither here or there. They both love music, which causes them to become friends. She releases them, and he's on the run, on his way to Missouri. We come to find out that Ego is trying to use Peter to destroy the planet Earth. And then Ego could not get in contact with Peter, so therefore Ego comes to Earth on his own. And then we have a war going on. And then, as we know, Earth's Mightiest Heroes joins together and try to subdue or destroy Ego the Living Planet. And at this point, we have Hank Pym, who ends up adopting Peter Quill, and they work together to stop Ego the Living Planet. And then we have Earth's Mightiest Heroes, aka the Avengers, assemble in the 1980s, but a whole different squad.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Any thoughts you want to bring up?
Like I said, the father-son dynamic between Ego and Peter Quill. Based off my takeaway from the episode was Peter Quill was just trying to get the approval of his father, which meant any means necessary. I'm not sure. Did he have him under some kind of like mind control because he had like the glowing red eye thing going on when he first landed on Coney Island, Manhattan? So And when I just know when he was talking to Hope, it was like, this is what my father. I just wanted to come back to Missouri to see my mom. That's all I wanted to do. And then somehow Ego was able to manipulate destroying New York into it somehow. But I know the music during the episode wasn't that like blocking Ego's communication to talk to Peter, hence why he came to Earth anyway.
Correct.
So I'm trying to think now, did the music block Ego from talking to Quill in the MCU too?
At this point, well, if we go back to the main timeline, Peter didn't know his father yet. Remember, he
Well,
was
I'm just
searching for
saying,
his
like
father.
if
Yeah,
he was to communicate with him, like, you know, I'm pretty sure Ego knows who his son is, right? Because he asked Yandu in the original timeline, "Where's my son?" And Yandu didn't give him Peter. So couldn't he like sense him and then somehow use telepathy to try to communicate with him? But it would be blocked because of the fact that Peter always had that Walkman on.
that's not a bad idea. Yeah, that's a good theory.
Hey, what
I
if,
guess you're
baby?
correct. What if? But at this time, in the main timeline, he had Mantis, so he had his sister. So I guess he was using his sister to destroy other planets. You know, he was a celestial, so his main timeline. Well, his plan was kind of flawed, but also kind of weird. He had that flower thing in every
Hmm.
planet that he wanted to conquer and devour to drain his resources to basically take his energy to live longer. But the thing is, he could not activate them all at the same time, and only a celestial can activate that plant, which was a little weird because you think about it. Why can't you do that? You're celestial, you're kind of like a godlike being, but okay. They nerfed his power, but okay, I'll accept that. So if we go back to the main timeline, he had Mantis for a while, so I guess he was using Mantis, so there was no reason for him to find or look for or use Peter for any to activate his plan.
Right.
But this is the timeline where he had Peter in his grasp and it was easier to manipulate him, like you said, because he was a child, which was
Hmm.
pretty evil if you think about it. But it plays off the same. Like when he confronts his father, Ego basically tells him the same thing that he fell in love with his mother, but he chose his diabolical plan over his mother, so he had to destroy his mother. That's messed up, bro. Either way you think about it, it's still messed up. So therefore, he was able to destroy a a copy of his father. He didn't destroy his father in this universe because, mind you, at the end, Thor says that he destroyed 8 of the 9 realms on his own, either with Peter or without Peter. It isn't specified, but it's assumed that Peter helped in some of the destruction of the 8 realms out of the 9. Therefore, hence why the Avengers assemble in the 80s with a whole different squad.
Right.
But Peter was able to, but in this timeline, Peter's able to have his power of celestial, the powers of a celestial, and still keep him even after destroying his father. Because remember, in Guardians 2, he destroyed his father, so now he lost his powers of being a celestial, and now he's just a regular human.
All right. Let me ask you this question. What are the powers of a celestial?
It varies. Each one of them have different powers.
All right, because all I know is that they just be born through planets and they're supposed to be gods. And sitting down watching the Eternals, we had, is that his name? Timid, the main celestial that was controlling those Eternals. Yeah, those Eternals. Tempest. His name was Tempest. So he was able to, like, I guess, teleport them to a certain location and like talk to him like they're like he's God or something. Like, he literally looked very intimidating sitting down watching the Eternals movie. So
So
I
in the Eternals, you had that guy, that celestial. He had the power. He was like a guardian celestial. His job was to create life and also destroy it.
mhm,
His job was to basically monitor the birth of other celestials, so their race um can live and prosper, but also to destroy planets if they're not deemed worthy in their eyes, like a failure. So like they do lab experiments planets, and if they're not satisfied with the results in the people and the culture, they just destroy them. They plant a seed of a celestial, and they watch it grow, and they let the planets overpopulate. Hence, how celestials are born, and destroy the planet.
Okay, so one more thing. Where does ego? Because ego is a celestial. Well, you said part, half,
No, Peter
right?
is half a celestial. Ego is a celestial in this universe. Ego the Living Planet isn't a celestial in the comics, but for the MCU, I guess instead of making it more complex to explain his background and all that, they just made it easier and said because we introduced celestials, we're gonna make him a celestial. So Ego is kind of
Okay,
like a
so that was
rogue
a
celestial.
change. That
That
was a
was a change
change.
in
Okay.
background.
I hate to
Um,
ask this another one question too,
go
but what do
ahead.
you think? What do you think the reasoning by making ego a celestial is? If you was to, if we was to go back to Guardians of the Galaxy 2, what do you think Marvel's plans with making ego a celestial and making Peter Quill have a celestial? What would be the significance of that? Because I know we had to switch up a lot of things because of the fact that James Gunn wasn't going to be, well, at the time, wasn't going to do Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So I'm pretty sure they had a certain direction they wanted to go as far as Guardians 3 with Peter Quill being part celestial.
I agree with you. I think that where they were trying to go in that direction, they were trying to introduce more godlike characters. I didn't think they were going to destroy Ego the Living Planet. To be honest with you, that's one of how to say this. I don't want to say hate because hate is a strong word. It's one of my
Dislikes?
the strongest dislikes I have with Marvel is that they destroy a lot of their villains, and some of them are pretty good ones as well. Like Ego shouldn't have been destroyed that easily, though. If we're talking about the main timeline, I did like this episode because they did not destroy Ego right away. It takes a while, but with Ego being a celestial, it isn't that easy to destroy him. You know what I mean? And he can be a big level threat character. He is a godlike character, so I did like how they didn't just nerf him that much to per se. Um, a little Easter egg there too. I don't know if you saw this. I haven't heard anybody talk about this yet, but remember when Peter destroyed his father on that episode at the end?
Right.
Was it just me when he crushed the little plant thing in his hand and absorbed the energy and shot him? Was that a spirit? Was that a spirit gun? If you know what I'm talking about, a little for all the anime lovers out there, you know what I'm talking about, right?
No, please explain.
Yu Yu Hakusho. You say
Oh, a spirit gun?
a spirit gun, yeah. It
Oh,
looked like he
I
did a
didn't.
spirit. He did it look like he looked like he did a spirit gun though.
I
I don't.
I I don't. I guess I don't know. Maybe it was reference. I don't know. Maybe it was just his own. They didn't know what he was doing.
True, but I thought that was a little Easter egg. But then I went back and looked at it. I think the show came out in the 90s, if I'm correct, 1992. So there's no way that he would have known that. But I think that was a little anime Easter egg over there. Whoever did the episode was pretty slick on it.
Right.
Do
Trying to,
you see this episode like continuing on? Like, would you like to see this episode continue forward with a whole brand new squad of Avengers?
like, are we talking about like as far as this Peter what if timeline thing?
Yeah,
We ended with Peter staying on Earth with Hank Pym, correct?
correct. Yep.
So we would have to somehow, where could we go with it though? Because you destroyed Ego. What is it possible? Ego could have, I don't know, possessed Peter somehow and is able to take over Peter's body.
Possibility. Well, Ego wasn't completely destroyed. That was just a clone of him.
Right, right, right,
He's still
right,
living out there.
right.
So
That's right.
the point of the adventure was to form the greatest heroes to find Ego and stop him from destroying other planets or other universes.
Hmm.
So in this timeline, you would think about it. It's 1988. Captain Marvel wasn't created until the 90s. She's still there, just she doesn't have the powers yet.
She's in
So
flight
hence,
training right now.
she probably won't get her powers through the Power Stone. The what was it called? The Tesseract. Tony Stark is a possibility. Tony Stark could be made, could be Iron Man still, because his father Howard is still born. Because mind you, I think in the 90s as well, his father and his mother was killed. It was one of the main reasons why he became who he was. I still see they would have to change something, alter the timeline for him to want to become Iron Man. And Captain America is still frozen somewhere in the ocean, so
Right.
he's definitely coming back. And then at this point too, I think King T'Chaka's son T'Challa should be around the same age as Peter, so he should be like 7 or 8 years old at this time. So he could be taking the mantle as well with Black Panther if you let the timeline
This is
go by.
1980. This is 1988.
Yes.
So I would probably say T'Challa wouldn't be around for like a couple more years, because I want to say it
Correct.
was 97. It was 97 when he killed Killmonger's dad,
Yeah.
and Killmonger didn't even look like he was older than 10.
Correct. Yeah. So you still have Killmonger, but his father wouldn't have killed his brother yet,
I
and
was
you
just
would have
comparing the age,
yeah.
as far as the age of Killmonger and the age of T'Challa. So,
So what I'm trying to say is that you would have an OG squad, right? Like a
mhm,
different OG squad back in the 80s. By the time you hit 2008, this squad of Avengers would be OP. They would already gone through the trials and errors. They would already have failed, succeeded, and they would be, you know, top G's. They would be the G's of their class. And then they could probably pass on the mantle to other people. I mean, just all I'm
right.
saying is that instead of the Avengers of forming during 2008, now it's 1988. So what?
Okay.
30 years prior?
They had a little Avengers.
Yeah, Little Avenger Squad. And Peter Quill at this point would be strong. He'd be one of the strongest members on the Avengers. He still has
That's right,
powers of
because he got the
Celestial.
powers. Right, he still
Yeah.
got the powers.
And you have Thor on
Interesting
the squad,
theory.
so you got a squad right there already.
Right, and Thor is thousands of years old. He's already, yeah. That would be a nice continuation of this episode.
It would be. And you still
Like
have
a
Thanos somewhere still traveling the universe, still trying to conquer his plan,
right.
who hasn't collected an Infinity Stone yet. So that would be pretty cool.
So I would probably say, like, give me like a 20-year time jump from this episode.
I could see that. I could see them continuing if they wanted to. That would be nice. What's also nice, what a nice little add on is that almost all the original voice actors as well returned for their role. Chris Hemsworth, King T'Chaka, if you remember him in Black Panther. Who else? You had Hank Pym come back, Howard Stark's character come back, Peggy Carter's character come back as well. Even Sebastian came back to play Bucky. Nice little touch. I mean, I like it. If they continue just going forward, I could see this being a thing.
Did they have the voice actors come back in season 1, or they had run other people?
I think they had other people. Not all of them came back. I know Chris Hemsworth came back for season 1 to play all his roles as Thor. Oh yeah. God rest his soul. Chadwick Boseman came back to play his role as Black Panther.
Really?
Yeah, that was him. That was the last thing. That was the last acting he did for Marvel
Wow.
before he had
Didn't
passed
know
away.
that.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's what's up. All right.
Yeah, I know, right?
So, what we looking at for episode 3?
So episode 3. What do we got? Let's see. Episode 3. Marvel's What If. Happy Hogan Save Christmas. This might be a filler episode.
I'm just like a filler episode.
It
How
might
can it be
be.
a filler episode if we're watching 9 episodes 9 days in a row?
It's funny because Christmas isn't till tomorrow, so
Well, it's
that's what
Christmas
he's
Eve
feeling.
today, so
Yeah. Uh,
we'll
I ain't
see.
opposed for it. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Any dislikes in this episode?
Uh, no, I think I was pretty satisfied with this one. Yeah, I was
One
pretty
last
satisfied
question.
with this one. What's that?
Episode 1 or episode 2? Do you like so far? Which one do you like the most so far?
I'm taking 2.
2?
Yeah, I'm
I
taking
still gotta
2.
go with episode 1. I like the whole Nebula episode. It got a little
If they
sci-fi
did
episode.
when we was talking about Nebula, I felt like yeah, they should definitely do like a TV show of Nebula's backstory.
They definitely should. She needs. I would go as far as say give her a good movie, dog. Give her a good movie. Give her a good solid team.
Well, you got to lead in the next generation of Guardians, so I feel like that'll be a perfect way to get some type of backstory for her.
I'm trying. Hold on. What happened to Nebula at the end of Guardians 3?
Everybody left and did their own thing, and then she kept Groot, and she kept Rocket,
She stayed with the
and
squad, right?
yeah, kept Groot and
Okay,
Rocket,
yeah.
and kept Yondu's
Mantis.
associate.
And Mantis was still on the squad, right?
Yes, she was.
Yeah. But Rocket's leading the squad though this time.
Yeah, but we already got a Rocket origin story, so I feel like it would be her turn.
The way that
But
they did episode 1, I kind of want to see her run the squad or her own squad.
okay, so we can come up with a movie concept where we place her basically something like what happened in the What If episode, where I
You
don't
had
know,
Meek, you
saving
had
Gamora or
Krog,
something.
and you had Howard the Duck. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
like
can do
save
something like
Gamora or something. I don't know. They can get creative with it. I
that.
like there's so many different things you could do with Nebula, to be honest. Because how was she like? Well, about 70% machine because she can like shapeshift her arm into like a whole bunch of different things. So yeah, you could do like I feel like that'd be an interesting thing with Nebula if he was to come up with a TV show or maybe a movie.